Alright, look, I've rewritten this script like 3 times now, procrastinated for 9 months, give or take, and I'm still back at the start, so I'm just gonna cut right to the chase here. Noita is fun, if a bit niche. Like, yeah, even to an experienced player, this game can sometimes feel like trying to eat nails with a spork. But damn it, these nails are tasty, and I want others to metaphorically enjoy the feeling of internal hemorrhaging, just as I have. Now let's get into it before I start another project that I'm never gonna finish. First up, the spells. The spells are what I would call the meat of the game. You're gonna need spells to do just about everything I show you in this video. Now, a common misconception with Noita is that the end goal is winning, but that's not right. The real end goal in Noita is crashing the game. Because if you're not making the program beg for mercy, why are you even playing a video game? One of the most consistent ways to tank your frame rate is a fast-firing wand, and to make one of those, you're gonna want to get these 2 stats as low as possible. I was going to explain the stats to you here, but while writing this, I realized I don't fully understand the stats myself. So instead, I will briefly summarize the way my moss-filled brain interprets it. So, if this one high number, it fires slow. If this one's high number, it also fires slow. You want fire fast! So, seek out the slow minus symbol. You may have noticed most spells affect your stats in some way, be it positive or negative, and the most common stats to be modified are cast delay and recharge time. I'm gonna sneeze. Now, most of these increase the time, but there are a decent amount that reduce it, like Luminous Drill, Chainsaw, Digging Bolt, reduce recharge time. Look, just check your spells to see what stats they change. Who knows? You might find a speed boost in the most unexpected of places. So, you've got your baby's first projectile vomit wand set up and ready to go. Why don't you give it a test fire? Oh, right. You need mana to keep the stream of fire going. Well, not to worry, there are plenty of options, and by plenty I mean your only 2 options are finding a wand with higher mana charge rate, or finding this one decently uncommon spell. Okay, well technically there are a few other ways to increase it, but none of them are that consistent or I don't understand them, so who care? Anyway, said uncommon spell is called Add Mana, and it is the best spell in the game, hands down. I don't care how strong your homing is, Add Mana is nigh essential for later game projectile spam wands. If you see this spell, you take it. And now that you have your Add Mana and you've applied the Noita method of jamming it into every spell slot until it works, your funny spam gun is complete. Bubble Spark is used for this example simply because of its low mana cost and ease of obtaining, but spam wands can be done with any projectiles as long as your cast delay and your recharge time are low enough. Wanna make a wand that fires a saw blade every frame? Sure, go for it and send me a video of it in action to my Twitter account, which does not exist. Ooh, got you good, didn't I? Well, we best move on before my japery grows too powerful. Right, so remember your Bubble Spark wand back there? It's pretty good, but remember, our goal is to slow the game down to a crawl. Now, imagine that Bubble Spark wand, except it creates 200% more particles, blocks enemy projectiles, and homes in on the poor bastards on the opposing end of your wand. This is your cue to realize how good projectile modifiers can be. If spells are the meat of the game, then projectile modifiers are the meat of the meat. Sure, the projectiles are what actually gets shot out of the wand, but the modifiers are what really blows the lid off of this can of worms. It's what separates the men from the wizards. It's what turns your average wand into a well-oiled killing machine. Some of these bad boys are so good they trigger a sheer dopamine response when seeing them. Speaking of dopamine, allow me to show you one of my favorite wand builds in the game, Homing Piercing Damage Field. This little setup is hard to come by, but if you do get that one lucky shot, this build annihilates almost any enemy in the game with ease. You don't need a fast charge rate, you don't need a fast mana charge speed, all you need is 4 spell slots and enough base mana to cast it. And that's only the tip of the iceberg when it comes to projectile modifiers. There's an infinite number of crazy wands you can make, and that's why you must experiment. The Holy Mountain is there for a reason, and I can't teach you every wacky combo in the game. So do me a favor and pick up every spell you haven't used before and jam them in a wand like you're a toddler trying to jam a square peg into a round hole. Every spell modifier is something dumb it can do, and it's up to you to try out all those weird combos. Sometimes all it takes is one modifier to turn your average digging wand into a run carrier. So many possibilities, so many particles. The tinkering man's lifestyle truly has its perks. And speaking of perks... there are approximately a bajillion perks in this game. You've got good perks, bad perks, defensive perks, offensive perks, whatever the fuck else, and I'm not gonna talk about all of them. But there are a decent few that I'd like to talk about. And I'm running out of ideas in my script. So, it's time for a lightning round! Good for beating enemies and not much else. You like playing like a coward? Yeah, I know you like playing like a coward. Just don't get hit. They're all pretty good, but fire, explosion, and melee immunity are the better ones. Trust me, the explosion is always bigger than you think it is. Chad pick. This is the best perk in the game. If you see it early in your run, you should take it. Do you enjoy getting stuck in ice? Don't take this. Seriously, don't. Removing wand editing saps most of the fun out of the game. Instead, turn your attention to these 3 perks. The best 3 perks for wand editing. Edit wands everywhere is the best and most simple of the 3. You can edit wands anywhere. Yep, it's really that simple. Go nuts. No shuffle is also pretty simple. It just removes shuffle from your wands. So yeah, your really cool idea for Sparkbolt with Trigger plus Giga Saw Blade will work now. Now, unlimited spells on the other hand is also kinda simple, but also completely nuts if the cards are in your favor. Now sure, there are some restrictions, like you can't get infinite healing that easily, but you still get to remove that pesky number from a decent number of spells. And that means infinite bombs, infinite minecarts, infinite rocks! And speaking of infinite, the always cast. Always cast. There's a reason Always Cast gets its own section. This shit is nuts, and you know it's nuts because I swore when I said it. Some of the most hokey things in this video were done using Always Cast. That example for how good projectile modifiers can be? That was done using an Always Cast homing wand. That minecart clip from a moment ago was actually using an Always Cast wand, but it fit the point I was trying to make, so leave me alone. This didn't make the cut for anywhere else in the video, but I also got an Always Cast giant firebolt once, and I thought it was pretty fun. Now, a few quick facts about Always Cast. Number 1. All spells are infinite in the Always Cast slot. Yes, all. That includes the exceptions from unlimited spells earlier. So there's your infinite healing, if you get lucky enough to find it. Number 2. Spells in the Always Cast slot use no mana. So if you happen to get Magic Bolt on your garbage starting bomb wand, it'll work just fine. Yeah, that's all I got on Always Cast. Let's move on before more of my incompetence starts showing. Alright, miscellaneous things I don't have enough to say on for them to warrant their own section. So what's up first? Physics objects. More specifically, killing enemies with them. If you kill an enemy by quote-unquote accident, they will drop double the gold they would normally. There's a lot of ways to accidentally kill enemies. You have your standard kick something at the enemy strategy, the old scroll toss, the harmful liquid hurl, the icebreaker, the rock spell for some reason. The rock spell has a lot of really funny synergies, try it out sometime. Exploration! You do a lot of it in this game, and I don't really want to spoil everything, but at the same time, this game is as confusing as something really confusing. So here's a tip. You're gonna want to check the rightmost and leftmost walls of each main biome, because more often than not, there's gonna be some in there. Be it a big-ass lava lake or a more challenging area with more better rewards. We're keeping that in. The Hisi base in particular has a lot of stuff in it. In the bottom right, you'll find an anvil that if you throw a broken wand on it, you'll get a fixed wand. There's also a hole somewhere around either the right or left walls that has a shop in it. You can purchase spells in it. It's a shop. You can buy it. A Above the shop, you'll find a big glowing hourglass. Pour some teleportanium in it and you'll get some free spells. Outside of the main path, there's also a whole bunch of exploration, but I don't know most of that shit. I don't care. Go watch a Fury Forest video or eat grass or something. Okay, there's still an infinite number of things I could talk about, but any structure this video may have had has just been completely annihilated at this point, and I want to be done writing this script! But, truthfully, I don't think I'd be able to make this video without descending into chaos. Without my mediocre editing, or my mediocre gameplay, or my mediocre voiceover, Noita is a game about madness. About getting greedy and being an idiot. Making the dumbest wand you can and dying for it is part of the experience. You gotta experiment. Even if the wand you made sucks, it was still worth making. That is the spirit of creation that this game embodies. Noita is a bitch of a game unlike any other, and I love it. So if I had to leave you with any parting words, it'd be, always experiment. Maybe not that much.